up, everyone? It's Torey Lovullo, manager of the Arizona Diamondbacks. Thanks for checking in. Hope everybody's doing great. It's time to kick off happy hour. And Clue Haywood says it's time for Friday beers.
Yes, it is. Torey, welcome in. Cheers to another edition.
We're rocking, baby.
We are rocking here at the BetMGM Sportsbook out here in Glendale. This is the PHNX D-backs podcast. My name is Derek Montilla. Of course, I am your mayor of Phoenix. I am far out of my jurisdiction here in Glendale. This man, though, still Mr. Electricity wherever he goes.
I run the west side.
Yeah, and of course, we do have to address Jesse not being here today. We gave Jesse a tremendous amount of grief about the weather in San Francisco.
Even though it's so cold, really is it now, Jesse?
Yeah, we told him to go fuck himself, I believe, several times about the weather. There were a lot of we threw a lot of shade at Jesse, if you will. And I know we're going to get to a Shady Rays ad read later, but let's just go ahead and tip of the cap to them right now because we're going to throw shade at ourselves, I guess, for getting Jesse sick because Jesse is a little under the weather due to his time there in San Francisco. He did not dress warm enough. He did not take care of himself, of course.
Didn't drink enough water.
You know, he didn't drink enough water. You know, I'm devastated by that. I always tell him to take care of himself.
Kind of failed as a father, it feels like.
I did. I feel like I failed as an authority figure. I feel like I failed as somebody.
I'm just the fun younger brother, so I got no responsibility.
Right. Like, yeah, dude. No, your job is just to egg him on and torment him, right?
Yeah.
But like, no, in my case, I feel like a manager of a baseball team, if you will, that let one of his players down.
And as we know, the manager is 100% responsible for everything that happens and is at fault for everything.
Is that the way that this works? Yeah. Well, I guess
according to a lot of people that are show up in our chats, it is.
According to many of you on Twitter, on Instagram.
Well, it's your fault and it's Saul's fault because he's the GM and he put the roster together.
That's fair. That's fair. That is absolutely fair. I'm going to blame the front office on this one for sure. But we are discussing, of course, who's to blame for the Arizona Diamondbacks' current direction, their downward spiral, if you will, that they're currently in. Things aren't great right now. And, I mean, obviously the Diamondbacks having the worst record in baseball going back to July 1st, not good.
Not ideal at all.
Not ideal. And, honestly, there's a lot of things about this team that people are starting to question. I mean, again, we talked about how at one point in the season, nothing was working right all at the same time, but they always had something working right enough, going well enough that it could kind of propel them to some of these unlikely victories that they had. But, I mean, is that really the thing that's missing now? I mean, when you take out that factor, when this team would obviously, you know, like in some cases it was the starting pitching was excellent on a night and it was enough for the offense to, you know, win the game. Mm-hmm. Sometimes the starting pitching wasn't good enough, but the answer back, yeah. Right? So there seems to be that missing, you know, I guess answer back factor, and people want to essentially blame Torey Lovullo for that.
Yeah, no, of course they do. It definitely does feel like there is just like that X factor that was there for the beginning of the half of the season missing. Yeah. And I mean, I feel like if we're being honest about it, they obviously there was no pressure on this team at the beginning of the year. No one was expecting anything from really anybody. Cattell had a bad year. No one was necessarily expecting him to come back to being the Cattell that he is right now. No one could have reasonably expected Corbin to be as amazing as he's been throughout this year. Obviously, he's been a little down recently, but
it's the way it works, right? Like there comes a point where no matter how good you are, even Ellie De La Cruz and some of the top, you know, we've had our jokes about Damon over there being on patrol and taking out any potential Rookie of the Year threats, and he has done an excellent job at that. But I'm afraid that at some point he might have crossed paths mistakenly with Corbin Carroll.
I need Corbin to hold his end of the bargain. I can only do so much.
No, I know you can only do so much, right? But all of these, I mean, that's why. Like I think we said that on yesterday's show. It's the reason why, you know, being a Rookie of the Year candidate is so hard to transition over into being a Rookie of the Year winner. It's because there's a lot of expectations there. There's a lot of pressure, and it's really hard when you're making your debut in Major League Baseball to make that transition.
Yeah, to be an everyday MLB player is not an easy thing to do.
Which Corbin absolutely is.
Yeah.
And I want to take a moment to just make a comparison here. This man next to me could quite literally be the Corbin Carroll of PHNX.
Oh, my God.
I've said he's my MVP, but he's doing the work today for sure here at BetMGM. I mean, he doesn't even leave the seat. I mean, he didn't even have time to pee in between episodes. But, I mean, it's because he's young, he puts in the work, and I mean, you know, the results are there. He's been incredible here. But I will say that there is a lot of blame being thrown Torey Lovullo's way. And I'm not going to say that it's not rightfully so in some cases. Torey, in fact, would be the first person at times to say that he has made some bad decisions, right? But I know you played this on TPSP, and I know we played it last night. But just one more time, just to soak it in, let's take a look at Torey Lovullo's reaction to what the Diamondbacks are currently going through in their current offensive woes.
Yeah. It's what makes sports so great, professional sports so great, and then it just rips your heart out. I don't know what else to do. I want the guys to focus on the right things, relax, and keep things simple. Now, that doesn't mean don't try hard. I want everybody's absolute best effort. But if you got the Bunsen burner out there and you're building rocket ships in between pitches and at-bats, we don't need that. I want you to simplify things and go out there and execute to the best of your ability. And that's where we're at right now. The effort has been fantastic, but I think we're just overanalyzing everything.
That is not Friday Beers, Torey. That is not Friday Beers, Torey.
Not at all.
That is a man of concern. Like he said while we were watching it, that pause in between him talking about it's why sports are great and when he just admits he doesn't know what's wrong with this team. There could be a lot that you could say is wrong with Torey Lovullo's managing, and it's not really something that is a recent thing, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Torey is notorious, sorry for using that, but for, doing things like taking guys out of the lineup when they're hot just because it was their time to have a day off. He switches guys around as their positions on the field. Nobody can really feel comfortable. Yeah. You have your guys that kind of have certain positions locked down, but we still see Corbin Carroll move from a corner outfield to center field. We still see Emmanuel Rivera DHing third base, first base. We see, Geraldo Perdomo moved around the diamond. There's a lot of things there. And these are things that a lot of teams do. This isn't exactly just something that Torey does, but it seems like baseball being a game of consistency, a game of, habit.
Yeah, 100%.
That's the one thing that at times Torey doesn't really adhere to.
Yeah, I as I kind of hinted at near the beginning of the show, I think Torey shoulders an unfair amount of the blame. As we talked about before, guys need to do their jobs.
And accountability. Right?
Yeah, and it's at a point where you want to criticize his how he utilizes the bullpen. Well, it's like, okay, but is there anybody you can trust coming out of the bullpen? Everyone's kind of sucked at points.
Right.
That being said, he definitely does shoulder some of the blame. There have been instances you got at where he. In the instances where he does have an ability to affect the game, there's been a lot of times where he's done it in a negative way. He's left pitchers in too long, or like you said, has taken guys out of lineups that when they're on. That stuff shouldn't happen, and it's one thing to happen during the regular season, but as I've said a bunch of times, it's really concerning if this team does make the playoffs or if they get there next year. Those kinds of mistakes will be amplified in the regular or in the postseason, and so that's what concerns me. But I think as far as the regular season goes, and particularly this recent cold streak, Torey definitely deserves some of the blame. But at the end of the day, he's not doing much different than he did in the first half of the season.
Yeah.
It's the players that are not performing,
sure.
And they definitely deserve their at the very least an equal share of the blame that Torey is getting.
Ultimately, it's a question of, is this a case of a bad managing, or is this a problem more with the roster? You, for instance, have been furious lately at not only who's in the starting lineup, but where they're hitting particularly. Yeah. And it's like Jesse said, it's not a very intimidating lineup. You're not looking, especially with some of, no knock to Jace Peterson, but with Jace Peterson hitting fifth in the lineup.
Yeah, 100%.
When Christian Walker was out, that
it looks like a lineup of a team that is the worst team in baseball since July.
Yeah,
that's kind of what the lineup looks like. And again, though, as far as Torey's concerned, you have to play the players on your roster, and that's not something he has any control over. And B, Jesse said yesterday, the reason he switched the lineup as much as he did yesterday is because he's got to try something. It's gone completely cold, and he had a relatively consistent lineup there for a little bit, and obviously they were winning games for a while, and then they stopped, and so he started switching it up again. And then I can't really blame him because my biggest issue with Torey is what we saw in that video where he just seems completely out of answers. And even if that's the case, I don't think you can present that as the manager of a baseball team, like you're a leader of the club.
Yeah. To be fair, Torey does put on a brave face at times.
Yeah, 100%.
He says his Toreyisms. He always tries to keep even right there. He's like, it's what makes professional sports great, right?
Yeah.
It's amazing, and then it's heart wrenching. And this has been a heart wrenching stretch for this team, but this isn't the first time in Lovullo's tenure where like the team looks collectively lost. And I think for me personally, that's the bigger thing that concerns me. I don't know if what's going on right now with the offense is more of a reflection of Torey, the front office not getting, really much more than Tommy Pham and Jace Peterson at the deadline, or maybe even Joe Mather shouldering some of the blame here as the hitting coach, because it seems right now that the team collectively as a whole is fairly cold outside of Cattell and Geraldo. So I really don't know what the answer is. But I know that the question that a lot of people have, I know a lot of people are screaming for Torey's head. And, I mean, honestly, the one thing that I would say was, did maybe the Diamondbacks extend Torey Lovullo too early? They extended Torey Lovullo through the 2024 season on June 4th. And to be honest, the team has not played well since then. They have a 21-28 record since Lovullo was extended.
And what's with that little note below that?
The next note was that they have a 23-30 record since Shawn DePaz joined the show. And that's like, all right, look, I'm just saying, like, if we're going to put the facts on the table, we have to put all of the facts on the table, because you did join the show before Torey Lovullo got extended. And it's just something it's worth noting. That's all.
I mean, I don't think it's really that worth noting.
It's not. I didn't notate you as Sean DeLoss in there like I was originally going to.
That's crazy.
Yeah, because I was like, he's going to see this, but
hold on, because hold on, no, I'm not letting you do this.
No?
because okay, Torey 21-28 since Lovullo was, or the D-backs 21-28 since the D-backs, 23-30 since I joined. Yeah, so that's 4 more games.
Yeah. And they were 2-2 in those 4 more games.
Exactly. So, I mean,
so it's basically this. Yeah, right. Well, no, I'm just saying that
it's Torey's fault.
2 things are there at the same time.
It's Torey's fault.
They were not good in June, and that's when you joined the show.
That's when Torey got extended.
What I'm saying is, I've seen you on the ASU podcast a lot, and I'm still not got my sash back from.
I've been on it like 5 times.
I'm feeling like I got the wrong end of this deal. When you talk about a trade deadline move, I feel like I lost.
The day that I joined, Corbin Carroll hit his first career walk-off.
Okay, that's fair.
Don't come at me with this.
Okay,
blame Torey for that. But also, I don't think Torey.
I did call him the MVP just like 5 minutes ago,
exactly.
So I am very quick to react myself. But.
Getting to your original question,
about extending him. Do you feel like this is? I mean, obviously that's not really an impact here. I don't think that has gone the way that I don't think that's like when a player gets a long-term deal and all of a sudden they just can't hit the ball anymore because they don't care. But I feel like with the way that the season has gone, do you think they would have still extended him, or do you think maybe that this team would have moved on at the end of the season?
I think it was the right decision still. I mean, and especially considering how young this team is, and that's kind of his MO is helping develop that young talent. Again, this was not the expectation was not for them to be this good or to really be
as
pressing
good as
for the
were,
playoffs, right?
Yeah, for the first 2 months.
So I think if you're the Diamondbacks, you're looking at this like, okay, this year Torey's going to develop these guys. And because that's what he's good at, we're going to let him do that. And then next year, we should be in a position to make noise in the playoffs. And if he doesn't do that, well, then, okay, there we go.
Time to make a change.
So that's why I'm fine with extending it to next year.
And Mike Hazen is on the same time frame, apparently. And we don't know how many other members of the front office, but it sounds like multiple people kind of have their contract deals through next year.
Because it's this offseason, next season is real make it or break it, right? Obviously, it depends to a certain extent on how much Kendrick is willing to invest in the team. But it seems like he is going to be willing to more than he has in the past, I guess. And so you have this offseason. You know what the team is. You know what you need. Now go do it. And now go manage or lead that team to the postseason at the very least. Because now it's all on the table. You've had the time. You have the resources. You have to do it now.
This offseason, they do need to add free agents. And they need to come with better free agents than veteran guys like Evan Longoria and Tommy Pham.
Yeah, so it's kind of similar to the Suns, what they went through with Monty.
Yeah.
Like, I think after last season, you had to get rid of him. You needed a change. Season before that, people were calling for his head too, and I just didn't think it was time yet.
Yeah.
I think this is the year, or next season really is the season where
if the results aren't there, then you should ultimately
need to move on. Because at that point, the window is open. You should have the roster to be competing for a World Series, or at the very least, the division, the playoffs, whatever.
Yeah.
You can't waste time. If Torey is not that guy, you cannot waste time on him.
I've never minced words about my feelings on Torey. I think he is a great person.
Yes,
I think he's a great man. I think he is the right man for the job. I think ultimately what we're talking about is a team that is still developing, right? I feel 100%. like Brandon Pfaadt is almost a perfect metaphor for being patient, right?
Yeah.
Brandon Pfaadt got called up. Things sucked. He was bad. He was flat out awful. The results weren't there. But the team continued to work with him. They didn't really want to jeopardize his future by letting him make more starts that would shake his confidence.
Yeah.
So they did send him back down to the minors. Things weren't perfect. There were ups and downs. But, like, again, when we talked about our trade deadline packages, Brandon Pfaadt was a piece in many of those packages. And if we would have seen Brandon Pfaadt go off and produce for another team last night like he did for the Arizona Diamondbacks, we would be losing our collective minds about it, right?
Yeah.
And that is the problem here, is that sometimes development of players takes time, and there's a certain level of patience that we have to get through. Corbin Carroll is one of those guys that has very quickly made us forget that he is a first-year rookie playing this game.
Right.
He is by far one of the best players on this team and has no business being this good this early, because most players, no matter how good they end up being in their career, are not this good this early. So there's a lot of positives about this team, and the Diamondbacks are doing their best to try to sift through the guys they have, sift through the bullpen arms they have, sift through the starting pitchers they have, and find guys that they really should be putting that effort into to develop as this season progresses. Yeah. I mean, we've said that the trade deadline, if they didn't make a move for a starting pitcher specifically, that was a very worrisome thing. And I like the move they made for Paul Sewald, but let's be honest, the fact that they didn't make that move for that starting pitcher really signifies the direction that they feel they're going, which right now is that they are waiting. And I don't think that they're worrying about this season as much as they are preparing for going ahead.
Yeah, that's what I kept saying is I did think it was a white flag. They were surrendering on the season, but I still think it was the way they approached the deadline was the right way to approach it. So we'll see.
But, I mean, I understand, going back to even my favoritism for Torey, that I understand people wanting to hold him accountable. And, I mean, I think your assessment is the way I feel, too. I think that this season they played a little bit above their level. They came back down to earth, and we'll see what the results are once the season ends. If the Diamondbacks make the playoffs, I don't think there's any arguing with the fact that at least, right now he is the right man for the job. And the reason why I say that is especially his development of these young guys like Corbin Carroll and Brandon Pfaadt.
I mean, if they make the playoffs this year, then absolutely, because that would be one hell of a managerial job to pull this team back out of the deep, deep depths that they're in right now. Because I as much as we talk about, and as much as I think the fans are like, this is not good, like, I don't think we have really done a good job at fully expressing the extent to how awful this has been. Like, we keep talking about this team being like, they're ruining their playoffs. They're the worst team in baseball. They are the worst team in baseball right now. The worst team in baseball. I would rather be the Kansas City Royals and the Oakland Athletics are winning more games than the Arizona. They are the worst team in baseball.
It's a fact.
It's not good right now. So if Torey managed to get this team to the playoffs somehow, that is one hell of a managerial job.
James Randall in the comments says they have been terrible since Carson Kelly came back as well. Yes. I will say this. Zach Gallen's first 12 starts, 2 home runs allowed. Zach Gallen's last 11 starts, 13 home runs allowed. What's the difference there? Gabriel Moreno.
Yeah, no. And
Gabriel Moreno.
I don't think you could. I mean, we talked about it a lot, or just like, I guess, baseball. It was talked about a lot within baseball. Like, with the Cardinals this year, they lost Yadier Molina, and obviously Gabby Moreno's not Yadier Molina. I'm not trying to suggest that, but like,
I'm
they
absolutely
lost.
Suggesting.
I mean, maybe he is, but they lost their catcher, and all of their pitchers struggled a little bit.
Yeah.
Obviously, Wainwright has just not been good at all, really, since he lost Yadi. Like, so the catcher makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
It can make a huge difference.
It really can, especially when you have someone struggling the way Carson Kelly is in every possible way.
Yeah,
I mean, Carson 100%. Kelly's struggling behind the plate. He's struggling at the dish. Yeah, he's struggling letting balls get past him. Like, there's just everything is going wrong lately for Kelly.
Yeah, 100%, and it's obviously not good to have any but one player doing that. But when the guy behind the plate who's kind of controlling the game is struggling in every way, that's
it's a major factor.
I don't think I can really understate how important that could be. All of this, it's because, like, the reality is it's a team sport, obviously, and baseball is a unique team sport, but it's still a team sport, and it's a well-oiled machine in the sense that, like, one thing goes wrong, it's easy for that to kind of leak into every other facet of the team. And I think it seems at least that's what you're seeing with this team, where, the bullpen struggled, and then The offense kind of disappeared because their production wasn't really meaning anything when the bullpen was blowing it, or you weren't getting good starts.
Yeah.
And now the pitchers are kind of figuring it out a little bit, but now the offense has gone ice cold. So it seems like it's all kind of connected, and hopefully that means if one part of them can figure it out, they can all kind of figure it out.
If Buck Showalter could keep his job. And like Elise said, if Torey can survive 2021, he could survive this. He can survive anything. But we are here out at BetMGM Sportsbook in Glendale. This place is incredible. The food is incredible. Dude, the drinks are incredible.
We need to wrap the show up so I can eat.
Yeah, I know. That's all. This poor guy. He's just. It's like some sort of weird Jerry Lewis telethon for this guy where he has to be on TV for 24 hours straight.
Oh, 1-800-HELP me.
We're
taking your calls now.
Get me off air, please. No, but it is Nerfy Friday, by the way.
Yeah. We're going in on the Nerfies.
We went in on the Nerfy, and that is because BetMGM stepped up their game. They went with a $50 insurance today on the Nerfy Friday. That means if you opt into the promotion, you place a no-run first-inning bet on any Major League Baseball game. That's by betting no on the will there be a run in the first-inning market. You will get up to $50 back should you bet that much, and your bet lose, but only one run scored in the first inning. You will receive it back in the form of a bonus bet, equaling your stake up to, for today specifically, $50. So if you haven't gotten down on that, go sign up immediately.
Oh, and I just logged in,
Friday.
and they just gave me a free $2 bet.
Yeah, see, and they do that stuff too because it's bonus bet.
They
Friday
literally
as well.
just giving you money all the time.
They just give you money all the time. If you're down here right now, you might get some bonus bets. Of course, that is the benefit to being here at the BetMGM Sportsbook. So if you haven't signed up for the BetMGM app yet, use bonus code PHNX. There's a few different offers depending on where you live, but for our Arizona audience, place your first bet offer and get up to $1,000 back in bonus bets if it loses with BetMGM. Again, make sure you use bonus code PHNX. Check out the show notes for full details. And now listen to Shane, who's right over here, talk about the disclaimer.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Colorado, D.C., Illinois, Indiana, Kansas, Louisiana, Maryland, Mississippi, New Jersey, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, Virginia, West Virginia, Wyoming. Call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369 New York. Call 1-800-327-5050 Massachusetts. 21 plus to wager. Please gamble responsibly. Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP Arizona, 1-800-522-4700 Nevada, 1-800-BETS-OFF Iowa, 1-800-270-7117 for confidential help Michigan, 1-800-981-0023 Puerto Rico in partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. U.S. promotional offers not available in D.C., Kansas, Nevada, New York, or Ontario.
Well, if you guys are here right now on the PHNX Sports YouTube channel, we thank you for being here. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Sign up for notifications. That way you don't miss when any of our wonderful shows go live. Leave us a thumbs up just to counteract that one thumbs down in the chat. That's just... It's going to stick with us all weekend long. We're going to wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning thinking about that one thumbs down. This is what you do to our mental health when you visually show us you dislike us or what we're saying. But I'm going to guess that thumbs down was for defending Torey, and rightfully so. I understand. But sign up for notifications anyway. Leave us a thumbs up. Do all that stuff. If you are listening on the audio podcasting side, subscribe to us there. Leave us a review. We always appreciate the feedback. And most importantly, join us as a PHNX diehard over here at gophnx.com. You'll get all sorts of wonderful benefits, but from us, you will get a free piece of merchandise. From the phnxlocker.com, you will get 20% off all future purchases. You will get access to our members-only Discord lounge. Being in the Discord lounge alone, especially if you're a hockey fan right now, pays for itself.
Yes.
PD is killing it when it comes to all the content he's providing for our diehards, and we will step our game up and try to equal PD's efforts as well. So join us as a diehard member. You get in on all of that stuff. You also get benefits from our partners, including a free $50 gift certificate from Mountain Mike's Pizza. You get a ranch card from Dobson Ranch Golf Course, and so much more. You also get access to discounts with our partners, exclusive discounts with us, exclusive merchandise with us, and there's just all sorts of great stuff. So join us today over here and become a diehard member. Groundhog Mama is going to fight whoever left us the thumbs down, and I
want that smoke.
I can't wait to watch that. I really can't. Let's take a look. Speaking of things that are going to make us fight with people, at our power rankings for this week.
Well, let's be clear. Your power rankings. I don't want any.
This is our
I don't
collective.
want any smoke for this.
This is our collective power rankings as a whole. Maybe Jesse did it. Maybe you did it. Maybe I did it. Who knows who did it? Who's behind this? But taking a look here, the Orioles continue to lead that really tough AL East division, and that team just, honestly, I feel like they deserve to be up there. Obviously, the Braves, they're kind of running away right now with the National League, so I feel like that's why the Braves deserve to be above and beyond. And they're Their run differential is just crazy right now too.
I might put the Orioles first right now.
Yeah, I mean the addition of Jack Flaherty is wild.
It is huge, and they're just that team will not be. It will just not stop, man.
The one thing about the Orioles is they still have the Rays right in their rearview mirror, and the Rays continue to.
But exactly in their rearview mirror, and the Rays have been leading the division all year.
Well, I mean, they still have a lot of games to play against the Rays, is what I mean, and I think for right now, that's still a pretty close division.
Yeah,
as far as the Braves go, the Braves have kind of run away with things just a little bit, but I mean, the Philadelphia Phillies are still. Right, I mean they're still the Phillies, right? So if they get into the goddamn playoffs,
tell people all year that it was coming.
Yeah.
They were coming. The Phillies were not going to be denied. They were in the World Series last year, and here we are.
I'm not ready to go crazy about the Rangers in a bad way yet. I still think the addition of Scherzer is going to be very valuable down the way, even though he kind of didn't have the greatest.
Even if it's
outing.
not, like the team is still amazing.
You know, a pitcher is good when he gives up 3 earned runs, and you're like, well, that was a shitty day for him, right?
Exactly.
That's what we do to Zach Gallen, right?
And Scherzer got rocked at like the beginning of his first start with a new place.
Yeah,
and then he kind of figured it out. So.
Yeah. We also have the Tampa Bay Rays there, like I said, but the National League is when you look at things with the National League, they're kind of. I mean, that's one thing that's beneficial to the Diamondbacks, even though they fell off the power rankings this week. They're still very, very
kind of
condensed.
Yeah,
and I mean, so if you look down at the bottom half of these rankings, you kind of see here that we got, the Dodgers, which haven't been playing great yet, as essentially the second best team still in the National League. And then the Giants, who, the Giants have been playing some good baseball, as we had to watch up close and personal. Yeah, I know.
Listen, I'm putting the Cubs above the Giants and the Phillies.
With the way they're playing lately, the Cubs finally make it in the power rankings.
Withheld.
They're an unstoppable juggernaut.
They're genuinely.
They're on the path to the National League championship.
If this is like a what have you done for me lately ranking, then the Cubs are top 5 because I mean genuinely they're one of the hottest. They might be the hottest team in baseball right now. Again, excluding what's happening right now.
I think, right now the Braves are handling business against the Cubs. But, yes, the D-backs have fallen off our power rankings. And do you blame us? I mean, I feel like any of you would
you'd
be furious with us if we still had them on the power rankings. And I don't know any other way to be. But speaking of records and someone impacted a team, the Cubs are 23-16 since I visited Wrigley Field. And I just want to throw that out there for any of our CHGO peeps that might be watching right now.
I need to say this every time the Cubs get brought up. If the Cubs suck now, I am definitely to blame for it because I'm all the way in, and I got Craig all the way in.
Yeah, we did. We got Craig Morgan completely in on this, and Craig is furious at us because right now they're getting their ass whooped by the Braves, and so he's kind of blaming us for I guess because he was protecting his heart.
Yeah, well,
we were like, put your heart out there.
It was a very fragile protection, I guess, because literally he was just like, I can't do it. I can't get bought in.
Yeah.
Not yet. And I was like, Craig, get bought in. And he was like, okay, I'm bought in. And then literally every day now he brings up the Cubs to me. The other day he just walked up to me and just had looked up the Cubs logo on his phone and just showed it to me. And I was just like.
Has it as wallpaper probably. He has one of those shirts that says the best baseball game I ever played was on a Wednesday.
I root for 2 teams, Chicago Cubs and whoever's playing the insert rival here.
Yeah, exactly. That's what our job is. Our job is to get these people back all in on baseball. And as you've seen, it's working. We're us, the pitch clock, there's a lot of factors at play. But, of course, we are very excited for the excitement of Craig Morgan for the Chicago Cubs. But, again, when you talk about all of this stuff, we want to make sure that we give a shout-out to our friends at Circle K. I stopped at Circle K on the way over to get a coffee. I was dragging my behind today a little bit. I think that these late night games and then these transitions and
it kicks your ass a little bit.
It does kick your ass a little bit, right? So I mean, there's a lot to be said there. But I will say this: that you need to check out your local Circle K for the best coffee, beer, and snack selection and premium gas. And when we say snack selection, we are talking about specifically the Circle K branded snacks.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the guys that they have on the gas station pumps.
No, the guys that they have on the gas station pumps are sexy as hell.
Snacks.
I mean, those are the real snacks. But the Circle K branded snacks, they're all right too. Actually, better than most of the other snacks you can get in the shop. Yep. Polar Pops do. We're pretty cold, but Polar Pops do stay cold longer. Don't miss out on Powerades 4 for $5. You'll also be entered into a competition to win a 2023 Ford Big Bend Bronco SUV. And remember, you get to fight him as the final end boss for that truck. He can't wait for his opportunity to drive that thing. So also buy 2 get 1 free Monster Energy drinks and buy 2 get 1 free Beatbox hard tea. I love the hard teas. I love the hard teas. I love the hard root beers. I love the hard lemonades.
I'm a big hard orange soda guy.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. Yeah, so don't miss out. Don't miss out on the hard teas for sure. But make sure you're not missing out on all of this great stuff. Right now, text PHNX to 31310 to join their SMS subscriber club, and you will get a buy one get one free offer on 32-ounce Polar Pops. Head to CircleK.com/store-locator to find Circle K's near you. Of course, when you're there, if you need some beer, the best beer to grab is Four Peaks. You can grab your Four Peaks beer, your Wow Wheat. That's a big fan favorite around here. They have all sorts of official beers, including the official craft beer of the Arizona Diamondbacks, the Radler Red Ale, and so much more. You can find all of these beers at Chase Field at the Four Peaks Draft Room, where we will be for our upcoming takeover event. That's where we are meeting up. We are eating chicken tendies, and we are drinking Four Peaks beers. So it's located on the suite level at Chase Field, so make sure to join us for that. D-backs takeover event, you can check out our events page in our show notes to find dates and tickets for that. Of course, for Four Peaks, you can make sure to stay up to date on everything Four Peaks at fourpeaks.com/events. You can also check them out on social media at Four Peaks Brew or at Four Peaks Pub to keep up with the latest at Arizona's hometown brewery. Must be 21 or older to drink Four Peaks, and please drink responsibly. Yesterday, the MLB teams all revealed their nominees for the Heart and Hustle Award, the MLB Players Alumni Heart and Hustle Award. And baby boy Corbin Carroll is the Arizona Diamondbacks nominee for the MLB Players Alumni Heart and Hustle Award. And I don't know about you, but I can't think of a better player to nominate.
It makes sense.
Yeah,
it's fitting.
It's an award presented to an active player who demonstrates a passion for the game of baseball and best embodies the values, spirits, and traditions of the game. And I mean, come on, Corbin Carroll does it all.
Yeah,
he's great defensively. He's turning into some sort of power hitter that we never saw coming. He can, obviously he's good at everything, including being a good guy, right?
Yeah. I thought you were saying baseball, but yeah.
Baseball. But we saw him steal a base and run over Isan Diaz the other day, and then what did he do? He immediately calls time at third base and goes back to check on Diaz. And, I don't know if that is not a better example of who Corbin Carroll is as a person.
Yeah, I mean, when people talk about, playing the game the right way, quote-unquote, that can be pretty loaded at sometimes.
It really is.
But, I mean,
racially
Corbin,
loaded for sure.
Yeah, but, Corbin is the prime example of, playing the game the right way. He plays it with, like we said, a passion and, a love. He always got, a big smile on his face. Yeah. And he's really good at it. And he's just, he's just goes about his business and is just a professional basebal player.
He's a professional baseball
obviously, player. You add the way he plays the game with the speed and literal hustle. I was talking about this someone he's one of the only players in baseball where every single time he hits a ground ball, no matter where it is in the infield, you're like, oh, here we go. This could be if it's a double play opportunity, it's not.
The other wild thing about Corbin is he is the one guy that fans from every fan base that I am friends with or that I know about.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? He is the guy that everybody in Major League Baseball is aware of.
Yes.
They know what he's doing. And, outside of Paul Goldschmidt, you have to almost go back to, the Chris Young days.
Yeah, Cattell was an MVP candidate and people didn't talk about him.
Yeah, right. That's a great point.
So, one of my good friends from college is a Mets fan, and I hadn't talked to him since college, for a few years really, since college, and all of a sudden I get a text early on in the season. He's like, "Should I buy a Corbin Carroll jersey?" And I was like, yes, you should,
absolutely, immediately.
And literally, I'm obviously from the East Coast. I have friends from the East Coast, and one thing I say a lot about Arizona sports is obviously when you live here, you know about it. But people on the East Coast really just, for a long time especially, did not care about sports out here. Yeah. And especially,
our games are played so late that they might not happen.
I couldn't stay up to say West Coast to watch West Coast sports for a lot of time. So people really didn't pay attention to it out here. So
I hated that.
It's really some kind of sign when players out here, especially LA is a different animal, right? But people don't care about Phoenix sports by and large. Outside of Phoenix. And
we're one of those markets I would put in the same category as Minnesota and Cleveland and a couple of those other ones that they have the major teams and they make noise every once in a while. They're good every once in a while. Oh,
Is that what you meant
fucking
to say?
Damon, I will fight you.
Come on now.
Right now. Someone
Like
give us
Miami?
a damn vote. Like Miami.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the entire city of Miami.
Like people just don't really care unless you're there because they don't win.
Or like a loser school that needs to
The Heat have
change
won 3
conferences.
championships
I know.
in my lifetime. That's all
I
good.
know.
We're just saying things.
But yeah, no. The reality is that people don't. If you got to do something special to get nationwide recognition out here.
Yeah,
and
fair.
Corbin has clearly done that.
He is absolutely doing it. He's slashing 276, 354, 525 with an 880 OPS. He currently has a 4.1 WAR, which is 16th in Major League Baseball, 8th best for offensive WAR, and he's just a good dude.
Yeah,
like I
he's an
mean,
incredible man.
he absolutely embodies this. There's a really good chance. I mean, he is still currently the betting odds favorite to win the National League Rookie of the Year, and kind of remains in the driver's seat for that. Like his production as of late really hasn't been good. I believe Michael Rokicki in the comments had said something about that he was hitting like 236 or something since he injured his shoulder. I know he also referred to it as 232
Shouldergate.
Since Shouldergate. And then Nicholas Gruder's responded prominently. Bro said Shouldergate, which is all we'll be calling it from now on. But again, I know you talked about it. I know we've talked about it. I know I've said it. I know you said it. Looking at the probables for this upcoming series with the Minnesota Twins, it feels like we're in playoff mode. And I mean, again, I know Jesse, if he was here, would say we're being drastic. I know Jesse would say we still have 2 months of baseball. And so at least we have that. So if the Diamondbacks do not do good in this Twins series, I can walk it back and I can jump. I can hide behind
Yeah, right.
Jesse.
They could get swept here, but if they win that 2 games, if they win both games on the Dodgers next week, then it's like, we're back. We're so back.
We're a wagon
right?
again. Oh, I can't wait to say we're a wagon again. I missed
One
that.
day.
But to be honest, here looking at these starters, this is again the reason why we feel like this is it. I mean, you got Merrill Kelly, you got Zach Gallen, you got both of those guys going in the series. You have Ryan Nelson on the road, who has flat out been incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all you could say as far as his home road splits are concerned. He has been incredible on the road. So if they can't walk out of this series winning 2 out of 3, and like Shawn said, I mean, I really feel like it needs to be a confidence boost of winning 2 in a row that just makes you feel like you can win baseball games again.
100%.
I mean, that really is the biggest difference, and it's so crazy. It's been a theme this season. It was one of the first things that we talked about back in April, that this team was walking around with a chip on their shoulder and a different attitude, where they were kind of coming into games with the attitude of, we are going to win tonight.
Mm-hmm.
And if they lose, they come in tomorrow with the attitude of, we are going to win tonight.
Yeah.
That's got to be gone at this point.
I definitely
They
feel
gotta
like
have slipped. They have to have slipped into the I hope I don't lose tonight phase.
like you said it all. They have to at least win 2 of 3, especially when you look at who they have pitching. I mean, at this point, especially when you're on the road, I would say they have their two best pitchers, and then Zach Gallen.
Oh, and by the way, the Dodgers series is coming up after this, and I just did the math on it in my head. Did you do the math? Because that's going to be a Slade Ciccone and a Brandon Pfaadt.
Are you sure? Because we'll have an extra day of rest. We have off Monday, correct? So I don't know. Who knows exactly what's going to be?
Maybe it's Brandon Pfaadt and Merrill Kelly in that series. I feel better about that.
I would feel definitely better, but I mean,
that.
I'm not going to feel. It's the Dodgers, man. I'm not feeling good about it. But yeah, this series is huge. Obviously, the season's not over if they lose it. Even if they get swept, the series is not over. But it just every single loss, it feels like they're digging. I mean, obviously in the standings they're digging a deeper hole, but just from an energy perspective, like you mentioned, that the mindset that we're going to win as seems to have disappeared, and that kind of mental hole is just getting deeper and deeper with every loss, and it's going to be harder and harder to climb out of.
By the way, they said on the broadcast yesterday that Tommy Pham is here and that he holds his teammates accountable, and we know he holds his fantasy football opponents accountable. So I almost feel like maybe Tommy Pham is here to smack some life into somebody that ain't acting right. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
We'll see, man.
That hand is strong. I will also say that Shady Rays are very strong.
Agreed.
When I see that, I mean, they are gear built to last.
Yeah.
They have polarized lenses, which if you don't have polarized lenses, I mean, I know this might be a thing where you're like, oh, go get yourself some polarized lenses. It'll absolutely change your life, and get them from Shady Rays. It's an independent sunglass company, world-class product, and they have a crazy broken and replacement plan. If anything happens to your sunglasses at all, including losing them on the first day, breaking them on the first day, I sat on mine and they sent me a new pair. Like, they were just wonky. They were just the arms went out too far after that, and I contacted Shady Rays. They gave me a brand new pair, no questions asked. They were like, "Oh, you're the mayor from Phoenix, right? We got you." That's all. I didn't have to give them an order number.
You don't even
anything.
have to be the mayor, though.
Yeah, you don't have to be the mayor, but that helps. It helps. What? No, I am the mayor of the city of Phoenix.
He's not the mayor of PHNX, but he's the mayor of
Check in
Phoenix.
with Heidi Watney at Apple TV Plus and see what she has to say about that. But of course, they do have a Shady Rays here in town. It's at the Kierland Commons. You can go check out their wide array of sunglasses. Of course, if you find yourself a pair, you like them in the store, or you find yourself a pair online and you don't know what they're like until you get them and you don't like them, they have they will exchange them for you for a new pair or return them for free within 30 days. No questions asked, no risk when you shop. So, of course, check out Shady Rays exclusively for our listeners. Shady Rays is giving out their best deal of the season. Go to shadyrays.com and use code PHNX for 50% off 2 or more pairs of polarized sunglasses. Try for yourself the shades rated 5 stars by over 250,000 people. And, of course, we got some baseball games eventually coming back to Chase Field. You want to watch those games against the Padres. You want to watch
Please
those
go to
games
the
against
Dodgers series.
We need
We
you out
do
there.
not. It cannot be a Dodgers home game. It probably will be anyways, but just make it less so than normal, please.
We need to be out there strong, folks. And the way to get there is by getting your tickets through Game Time. Of course, if you're going to hear us say that a lot between now and when those games take place. If it's the last minute and you think, you know what, Shawn was right. I don't know about that Derek guy, but Shawn was right. We need to be out there. You get your tickets last minute, and you will get the best deal that you can on last-minute tickets at the fastest-growing ticketing app in the country. You can snag the tickets without the stress with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code PHNX for $20 off your first purchase. Terms do apply. You can get sporting events. You can get concerts. You can get shows. We are out here right now. I'm looking at the giant toaster out there where the Cardinals play. You want to watch football games this fall, Game Time is the place to do it. Again, create an account and redeem code PHNX for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last-minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. And before we get out here, we just want to remind you all that should the Diamondbacks not do anything this weekend in this series, if they should lose, the best way to get over it, a little wink of THC. And
true.
when we say wink of THC, we're talking about our favorite THC-based seltzer drink that will get you how high? Just a wink. Summer's not
Petey's
a spectator
big on
sport. Oh, Petey yes. You
Petey
know what?
loves him. And he wasn't a cannabis guy at all.
Right.
It was his first foray into it, and he loves
Well,
it.
and I think the thing is that sometimes, especially like cannabis, for those of you that are unaware, is like it's a diminishing kind of effect, right?
Yeah.
The more you do it, as
Yeah.
me and this guy
The
can
tolerance
attest
goes
to,
up.
we would love your tolerance level, new users. We would,
Yeah, dude,
we
for real.
would kill for it.
Be
But
cheaper, that's for sure.
yeah, that's for sure. But of course, if you keep your tolerance level with something like Wink, which just offers a balanced 2.5 milligram or 5 milligram can of THC to CBD, you can keep your tolerance low and still enjoy all the wonderful benefits of drinking a wonderful drink that has no calories, it has no alcohol in it, and it's just great. Like, that's the wonderful thing, is like we're always trying to find ways to stay healthy,
Yeah.
avoid drinking artificial sugars, avoid drinking all that stuff. And Wink is available for you. It's available, again, either in 2.5 milligram and 5 milligram can. You can find Wink right here in Arizona. Look for Wink at all Sunday Goods dispensaries in the Valley and Botanica
Have you been to a
dispensary
Sunday's
in
Goods?
Tucson.
Sunday-
Oh, I love
Dude,
Sunday
those
Goods.
things are,
Sunday Goods are incredible.
they're so nice in
They're
there.
so nice. Like, it's such a nice.
Like, I mean, I've been to plenty of dispensaries, and at no point have I ever been like, it's one of those things you didn't know you needed, like a nice, like the inside of a dispensary to be nice and welcoming and stuff
Yeah.
like that. Sunday Goods has that.
It can be varied. It can be a varied experience
Mhm.
from one dispensary to the next. Some of them very much feel like you're going to like a.
It feels illegal still sometimes.
Yeah,
it feels illegal sometimes.
illegal
Not
sometimes.
Sunday Goods. Sunday Goods is a vibe, and they got Wink, so you got
That's
everything
right.
you want.
And Wink, of course, they're now in 12 states nationwide because of legality,
Yeah.
and even recently launched online ordering and home delivery to about a dozen others. So to find the fastest way to get your hands on one, go to drinkwink.com, and Wink is spelled WYNK.com. Well, we thank you guys, of course, for being here. We have food to eat. We have bets to place here at BetMGM.
True.
I need that little ticket, that little
paper.
ticket in my hand, little paper
Yeah.
ticket. We got the Nerfy Friday $50 insurance going on, so do not miss out on that, of course.
Make your way out here. There's rumors that there's some sort of bonus bets promo that
There
they're handing
is
you while
some
you
rumors
walk in the
of some bonus
sports book.
bets. So if you want some mystery
Rumors.
bonus bets action, get down here for free money, free
And
bonus
also,
bets.
Put $50, hopped into the promo and put $50 on
What are you doing?
Nerfy.
Yeah.
Ride with the boys. 'Cause all three of us are on it.
Diamondbacks are not producing offensively right now. Twins are not very good. They got swept by the Royals. Come on, let's get down on this. And we got Merrill Kelly on the mound, so let's go. Of course,
The D-backs are gonna. The offense is gonna come alive, and they're gonna score 18 runs in the first inning.
and that's fine.
Cattell's hitting
that's
a home run
worth-
today.
Yeah, that's
That's-
if he wants to do that,
that's
I will
worth-
live with that.
That's worth my $50 bet.
Yeah,
And
I'll pay
plus they got the
$50 for a
insurance.
win.
We're going to get that money back if they do that. But, of course,
True.
you can follow us on Twitter to see how we do on these bets. I'm at Cap_Caveman with a K. This maniac next to me is at Sean_DePause. I'm not going to say DeLoss. The
Thank you.
maniac behind the Mac is the one and only Damon. We are Damon's dogs. And you can follow him at Damon Dog, DAWG, there at the end on Twitter. And, of course, before you follow him, you have to say X is going to give it to you, and then you can do the dog bark. But, of course, our show's at PHNX_D-backs, and all roads lead to at PHNX_sports on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. We thank you guys so much for joining us. It's a beautiful day out here at the BetMGM Sportsbook.
That it is.
We
It's always
want you
beautiful.
come join us. Watch us play some cornhole. It'll be a fun time. Regardless if you make it out, we thank you again for joining us. And remember, kids, baseball is fun, but it's so much more fun when you take accountability for your actions.